Hey guys, thank you for clicking this video. Just to let you know, this is a segment from my live streams that I do Sunday through Friday. Once again, if you want to catch the live stream, that is going to be Sunday through Friday, 6:30 Mountain Time. And if you don't know what time that is in your time, go ahead and Google it. But once again, enjoy the video, subscribe, and like this video. Back to the video. So, it is common understanding that majority of Americans, and I want to say maybe, if I had to be generous, okay, I don't want to be an a-hole and just like say 99.9%, but I would say 89.99% of Americans are misinformed, uneducated, or just pure ignorant when it comes to what we're going to be talking about. What is a democratic socialist and what is a communist? And that's not, maybe I don't want to be so, because that's not like a everyday topic that regular people that are not really locked into politics talk about. You know, they're not like, hey, George, did you watch the Bronco game and how's the weather? And hey, what do you think about the Communist Party in 2025? Like, they're not talking about that. You see what I'm saying? Like, they're just really wrapped in the mainstream conversations, okay? But in political circles, 99.99% of people are misinformed or ignorant or both. I would probably say both. And it's something that I had to actually learn too. You know, throughout my 2.5 years on YouTube, if you watch my first video and kind of watch after that, you can kind of see the growth of, I used to be a liberal. I used to, hey, Obama, Joe Biden, the Democrat Party as a whole, I need to win. And then slowly I started understanding, hey, my policy stance, my standards and my principles don't really align here, but it's more so of and I had to look up, what's a democratic socialist? So I had to look this information up and educate myself. But like, you know what? My policies and my ideology aligns best with a democratic socialist than X, Y, and Z. So, hey, that better describes of what I need to be talking about, who I need to be supporting. Education, information can change your perspective. And it is vitally important that we not only know ourselves, but tell these people, tell these idiots that we talk to on a day-to-day basis, like, hey, communists are not so bad. What you need to be worried about is a fascist. I'd never, throughout history, the reading that I have been doing, never seen a good fascist. But communists, which is a theory, you can imagine a good communist. But you can't never, ever imagine a good fascist. And maybe once again, this might be a different conversation because it could definitely get a little deeper than that. But just on a surface level, a democratic socialist is someone who believes in combining democracy with socialism. If you don't know what socialism is, I can't read all the definitions for you. Pause this video, Google it, and then come right back. Meaning the government and people work together to ensure essential needs like healthcare, education, and housing are publicly provided while still keeping elections, personal freedoms, and some private businesses, aka capitalism, essentially. Now, if you read that definition and I said this is, and not telling people this is a democratic socialist, I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, people are going to agree with that. People are going to support that type of belief right there. But when they hear socialist, literally something in their brain clicks off. And they're like, oh my God, we can't support a socialist. Oh my God, my kids are going to turn gay. I'm going to become a vegan. Oh my God, I don't know. Like, something happens in their brain. But something worse happens when they hear the word communist. Now, a communist is someone who believes in a system where all property, resources, and means of productions are owned. This is the important part, are owned and controlled by the community so that everyone shares equally in wealth and work, with the goals of eliminating social classes and private ownership. To be honest, that don't seem too bad to me. And like I said in the Discord, like maybe months or years ago, at some point I could see myself evolving into a communist, because that right there is like how society should be ran, by the people and not private ownership or capitalism, to say the least. I would like to live in a country like that. But, you know, once again, I might be too much for you guys. Might be too much. But let's go ahead and do a little education, because once again, when you're consuming my content, you gonna learn something. If not by accident, you will learn something. So let's learn and listen a little bit about what the Red Scare or scares were. The Red Scares were times when fear of communism led to paranoia, false accusations, and loss of freedoms. That's the important part. And loss of freedoms in the name of national security. And if that rings any bells of what's happening today, why do you think Donald Trump and Republicans are trying to label anyone and everyone a communist? But hey, don't listen to me. Let's listen to this 2-minute video of what
Hi, my name is Zohran Williams.
The Red Scare was about. And it's only like 2 minutes. But even for that, let's go ahead and throw this on here, because I'm not sure if I'll get in trouble playing this video. And to be honest, I don't want to find out. So let's go ahead and listen to the History Channel in 2 minutes explain the Red Scare.
Hi, my name is Zohran Williams. I'm a historian, and here are some things that you need to know in order to sound smart about the Red Scare. Although most people associate the Red Scare with the era of Joseph McCarthy from the 1950s, in fact, there were two major Red Scares. The first Red Scare took place during World War I. After the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, during the First World War, fear of communism reached its height. In the period after the Second World War, Americans were increasingly concerned that the anti-democratic and totalitarian nature of communism would spread and even infiltrate the United States. One of the common traits shared by both Red Scares was red baiting, the practice of identifying and attempting to out or uncover suspected communists within the United States government. One of the chief conduits for ferreting out communists was the House Un-American Activities Committee. Although it had been first formed in 1938, it reached the height of its power, and some would say its insidious purpose, during the 1950s Red Scare. Southern politicians often branded political subversives with whom they disagreed as communists. In Alabama and Mississippi, for example, the NAACP, which was a civil rights organization, was banned as a communistic influence. The second Red Scare perhaps took its greatest toll on artists and entertainers, people like Paul Robeson, Arthur Miller, and others who were unable to work because of being branded as suspected communists or communist sympathizers.
Hey, once again, it is important that we know history, because like we understand with Donald Trump trying to invoke every single forgotten about law to try to consolidate power today, we need to understand history so we can know what is going on in front of us, in front of our very eyes. We need to know this, and I'm glad to be learning this as we go. So let's let's listen to the Daily Show, and is Mr. Zohran Mamdani really a communist?
There's an election happening in New York City, and one candidate is making people see red. self-proclaimed New York City communist Zohran Mamdani,
who is a socialist communist.
Well, Mamdani the communist.
An avowed communist.
I call him my little communist.
Well, love him or hate him, everyone seems to agree. This guy's a communist.
You're saying Mamdani's a communist?
I'm not saying that. People are saying that.
Really? How come nobody told me? I'm a co-chair of the Communist Party.
Co-chair?
Co-chair.
Wow, they really make you share everything, don't they?
Well, it's better. Cooperation is the name of the game.
According to Joe Sims, co-chair of the Communist Party, we're using the C word.
So this guy is the co-chair of a communist party. So if anybody would know if Zohran is a communist, I think he would know, right? I mean, let's listen to the people that are actually living and supporting that type of life, you know? So let's hear what he got to say.
Word all wrong. So you're saying he's not a communist?
Not at all, no. He's a democratic socialist.
Okay, so explain the difference to me between the Communist Party and the Democratic Socialists.
Well, the Communist Party believes that capitalism needs to be replaced fundamentally.
Joe, what's so distasteful about capitalism anyway?
Everything.
Really? I disagree. Ooh, my package is here. I'm waiting for this. Ugh, it's the wrong color. Ugh. What were you saying?
Anyway, socialists in this country generally believe that capitalism can be reformed, but also socialists believe that they can function within the framework of the Democratic Party. But we don't believe that the Democratic Party can be reformed.
Well, I agree with you there.
So that's a good point. That's a really simple way to look at it. Communists believe that capitalism cannot be reformed. Do not touch it. Just get rid of the trash. That simple. Democratic socialists, like I told you guys, sees capitalism as something that unfortunately is going to be here for a while. So what we need to do is regulations, create laws and bills to constrain it as much as possible to where they're not exploiting American people and even foreign countries, because we know how capitalism works, and then use the funding and the regulations to benefit the American people through social services. That's simple. You see, so like that's pretty much what I identify. And if you ask anyone without putting the labels, 9 times out of 10, and I've done this before, talking to random people, 9 times out of 10, they're going to agree with that. Until you be like, oh my God, you're a democratic socialist? What? Don't tell people that. Then they'll be like, oh my God, no, I'm not. No. I believe in capitalism, baby. What you talking? So like, once again, these labels will like mess people's brains up for some reason. So I'm glad we clearing the air.
The party can be reformed.
Well, I agree with you there. Oh God, does that make me a communist? All my life, I thought communism was about military parades, dictatorships, and using the full apparatus of the state to train one single boxer. Oh, mama.
We've gotten a bad name over the years, a bad reputation, I should say. People believe that communism and socialism means government control, but that's not true.
No?
No, not at all. Socialism, communism, and democracy are not opposites. And one of the great things is that you should be able to choose what you do. Perhaps you'd like to run a food co-op. And if you don't want to run a food co-op, maybe you'd like to run a farm. And if you don't want to run a farm, maybe you'd like to run a theater company.
I don't think so.
Maybe you'd like to be a fisher person.
Nope. No.
A park ranger.
Ugh.
No park ranger.
hate animals.
How about an astronaut?
I'm terrified of space.
Tell me what you'd like to do. You can spend more time with your family.
Ugh, that's the worst. So communism isn't for me, but why do people think that Mamdani supports it?
Mamdani. He's a communist.
What is it exactly that you think?
Now, once again, doing my readings on communism, socialism, democratic socialism, neoliberalism, and liberals, and centrists and moderates, like it's just a mountain of labels and definitions. But when it comes to communism and even socialism, there's different flavors. It's like Baskin and Robbins. Like, it's not just one solid flavor of socialism. It's going to be throughout history different flavors of it and different ideologies and different perspectives and beliefs. So same with communism. So if someone tells you there's only one kind of socialism or one kind of communism, you tell them to go read a book. It is so many different theories and understandings and sects of beliefs. It's not just one centralized definition of it. And that's one thing that I've learned, and I don't want to say gave up, but like, it's so much. Just understand the basic understandings of it and you'll be fine. Because trust me, you will spend a lifetime trying to learn every ideology when it comes to socialism. It's a lot of it. So
people see Mamdani doing that would cause them to call him a commie.
He champions affordability. Any effort to put forward an idea of a more equitable distribution of wealth is labeled socialist or communist in an effort to just dismiss it out of hand. It's called red baiting.
Red baiting.
Hey, we just learned what red baiting is. Hey, isn't that crazy that we learned something and then when we hear a conversation about it, we can be like, oh, I know what that is because we just learned about it. Once again, that is just to dismiss anyone trying to do better for the masses of people. Just like D.L. Hughley says, like every time you try to do something for people, it is labeled socialism and it's a bad thing. But every time you do something for corporations, that's a good thing. And that's capitalism working like it should be. You see, we got things backwards. So don't let people red bait you. I might have a quiz later today. And if someone knows, I don't know, might do something special. But when you learn something, then you can participate in these conversations. Red
baiting, anti-communism, goal is to just divide people. That's what happened to us during the McCarthy period, you know.
Okay, but McCarthyism was 70 years ago. Surely we've learned our lesson by now.
Members of Congress and even former presidents have been openly embracing vile creeds such as socialism, Marxism, and straight-up communism.
AOC, the little communist from New York City.
Comrade Kamala Harris is a radical left Marxist, communist, fascist.
Can the commie cavalry save the day?
Okay, that sounds a lot like red baiting. But how do we know for sure that the Democratic Party isn't full of communists? Joe, it was time to name names.
Not a communist. No. AOC is what she says she is.
Not a communist. That's a no. Right.
Please, no.
No?
No, not a communist.
Not a communist. No. So none of these Democrats are communists.
I loved how he extra giggled when she put out Harris's photo. Just watch the extra giggle, okay?
Not a communist. No. AOC is what she says she is.
Not a communist. That's a no. Right.
Please, no.
No?
No, not a communist.
Once again, I don't mean to invoke the name Kamala Harris again, but she's not a communist. And she damn sure ain't nobody's progressive. Long from it. I'm sorry. Can we be honest? But okay, that's the last time I'm invoking that name. Okay.
Not a communist. No. So none of these Democrats are communists. You know, people really need to stop throwing around the C word. It's insulting to actual commies like my friend Joe.
It's up to me to set the record straight and remind people that words matter. How do you feel about Mamdani?
I think he's extremely dangerous. I would categorize him as a communist.
But he's not a communist.
I think that he may be a communist.
You are going to be so relieved to hear this. I just learned he is not a communist. He is a democratic socialist.
Well, he can call himself that.
I spoke to the co-chair of the Communist Party, and there's actually a pretty significant difference. See, communists believe that the capitalist system cannot be reformed. Democratic socialists, they fundamentally make changes within the framework of the Democratic Party, has been captured by the billionaire class. But I'm sure you already know all that.
I disagree with you.
Okay.
I apologize.
And that's how I honestly sometimes feel when I'm having these conversations. You can literally be looking at a definition, going through history, dates, names, and everything, trying to explain socialism to somebody. And they will literally be like, you know what? I disagree with you. And it's like, no, what you mean you disagree with me? Like, I'm just telling you the definition, not my own personal critique. It's definition, numbers, data, facts. You know, like, yeah, don't agree with it. And it's like, bro, how has America gotten this far is the question. How has America not just imploded already? It is crazy, the level of ignorance.
Even though people weren't convinced, if we're going to be divided, at least the red baiting will be word perfect.
Once again, great video, and it's always good to laugh and learn something at the same time. And what we learned today is Zohran, unless he has like some hidden agenda, and once again, if he does, I can't read a person's heart. Can't read their mind, but we're just basing everything off of consistency, his messaging, and his authenticity. That's the only thing we can really judge anyone by until they've proven themselves otherwise. But if he was a communist, honestly, I wouldn't really care. But honestly, anything is better than neoliberals and conservatives. By far, anything is better than that, other than like a literal Satan, I guess. I think that probably would trump anything. But other than that, like, we need to learn these definitions, and it means something in a conversation, and then we build our conversations off of facts in historical context, and then we win. So that's it.
Wanted this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra.